Good afternoon, fellow students. My name is Emmanuel Peters, a psychology major, military vet, and Game of Thrones fanatic. So, back in April 2011, this iconic series took the world by storm. As it was stated in USA Today, the fantasy series became a ratings juggernaut, per se, for HBO, and especially between the millennial ages or the millennial demographic ages of adults 18 through 49. This show is filled with gruesome violence, um, explicit sex scenes. So just a warning if you haven't seen it and planned on seeing it, just a warning. Okay, moving forward. So Game of Thrones, the reason why this show became so big, I believe, in my opinion, is because it touches on real life situations that the everyday adult faces. Questions like, what is the most fair and successful form of government? Something that we talk about as Americans often. Another question, can children of bad parenting overcome their upbringing? So these are just a couple of questions or topics that's brought up in Game of Thrones, and one of the reasons why I think it has become an iconic series. So let's dive into the meat of it. So it was an article in the Washington Post. A social scientist named Joshua Ambrosius conducted a research study involving a little bit over 300 participants ages 18 to 29. So this study showed a direct correlation between the governments in Game of Thrones that one connected to and the religions. Um, and it was a direct correlation between the governments that they chose in the show and the governments and religions that they chose in real life. So through memes, forums, and late night discussions on many forms of social media outlets, the everyday American could express their feelings on politics and religions related to Game of Thrones. So it got everyone talking, and I think that's what kind of built the hype and what made it so iconic that everyone could relate to it. You can relate the fantasy world to real life. So if you watch the news lately or Dr. Phil, you know that there's some bad parenting out there. We all know that. Game of Thrones takes this to an entirely new level. So the Baltimore Sun rated characters of Game of Thrones from they had a good side and a bad side. So they rated it was a character named Shireen. They rated her on one of the good side, on the high side of the good list of characters in Game of Thrones. Though she was the offspring of, per se, bad parenting, well, she eventually got burned alive, sacrificed by her own father. Herself, this character, just like many children in real life, she was a product of bad parenting, but she ended up becoming a light to the world and helping many of people. So this it was an example of a child being able to overcome that upbringing and still be some good to society. So in conclusion, in general, we as people we learn better as we're entertained and having fun. I teach this in my preschool that I work at, and we all know that we learn better when we're in a good mood or having fun. That's how, in general, we learn as people best. This show was able to engage us while touching everyday topics that us as Americans face. This is why I believe this show was so important to pop culture. So I hope you enjoyed my revised PowerPoint speech. I added just a couple of slides extra to my PowerPoint presentation and wanted to do a little bit of things different. But thanks for watching. I look forward to your feedback.